হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই অপরাধ গুচি সুরনামারুচি বিপাবালে হবে হৃদয় সঞ্চর অপরাধ গুচি সুরনামে রুচি কৃপাবালে হবে হৃদয় সঞ্চর হবে হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই চিনতি কইন কবি নিজে মানি সহিষ্ণুতা গুণা হৃদয়েতে অনি সকলি মনার আপনি আমানি হাই আশা জীবন আমার আশাসর হবে হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই তাম জানার কবিতা সুন্দরী বালিবানা চাহিদে হাসুকা করি তুমি জন্মে দাও ওহে গোরা হরি আমি তুমি ভক্তি চরণে তোমার হবে হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই হরিতে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ নামরুচারণ পুলকিত দেহা গদ্গদ বচন ভাইবরঙ্গি পাতু হইবে স্বাগতান নিরন্তর নেত্রে দেবে আসুদর হবে হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই অভিনবদ্বীপে সুরদুলিতাতে গোরা নিত্যানন্দা বল্লী নিষ্কাপতে নাইছিয়া গইয়া বেড়াইবে ছুতে বুতলেরা বুড়ায়া ছড়িয়া বিচর হবে হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই আমি নিত্যানন্দা মোরে করি দয়া চড়াইবে মোরা বিষয়ের মায়া দিয়া মোরা নিজা চরণ ছায়া নামেরা হাতিতে দিবে আদি করা হবে হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই বালুতীর হরিনামারাশা নামারাশি মাতি হইবে দিবস রাশের রসিক চরণনা প্রাশা হরিয়া মাঝি বিরাশে অনিবর হবে হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই আমি জীবা দয়া সাথীতে উদয়া ইরা সুখী বলে সুরি নারী দয়া ভক্তি বিনোদ হরিয়া বিনায়া শ্যাজনা তাহালা করিবে প্রচার হবে হবে বলো সেই হবে হবে বলো সেই
This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's singing in the mood of Sankirtan. The translation is given. When, oh when will that day be mine? When my offenses ceasing, taste for the name increasing? When in my heart will your mercy shine? When, oh when will that day be mine? Lower than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. When will my mind attain this quality? Respectful to all, not expecting their honor. Then shall I taste the name's nectar sublime. When, oh when will that day be mine? Great wealth or followers, feminine beauty, I won't care for them or the comforts of my body. Birth after birth, give me, O Lord Chaitanya, causeless devotion to your feet divine. When, oh when will that day be mine? When will I utter Krishna, 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 with words choked up and shivering body? When will I be trembling all over, lose bodily color, tears pouring from my eyes? When, oh when will that day be mine? When in Navadvip along the Ganga bank, shouting Gaur Nityananda as a surrendered soul, chanting, dancing, running everywhere, when will I become half mad of mind? When, oh when will that day be mine? When will Lord Nityananda show mercy upon me? When will I reject the world of Maya? Bestow on me the shade of your lotus feet. Let the right to chant the name be mine. When, oh when will that day be mine? I will beg, borrow, or steal the nectar of the name. By the name's effect I will feel paralyzed. Oh, the enjoyer of nectarine as I touch your lotus feet till the end of time. When, oh when will that day be mine? When kindness to all beings will be appearing, with free heart, forgetting myself comforting, Bhaktivinoda in all humility praise. And when will I set out to preach your order sublime? When, oh when will that day be mine? It's the mood of Sankirtan.
Manjari pada se mora sambada se mora ajana pujana se amora pranadana se mora purana Shemo Shiva Nira Jivana Shemo Rajiva Nira Jivana Shemo Rasanidhi Shemo Ravanja Shiri Shemo Radharama Shimona Vede Radharama Anukula Habe Vidhi Shepade Hoibe Shiri Virakibo Edunaya Miratibo Edunaya Shyarupa Madhuri Rasi Kana Pubalaya Shashi Rotulito Abeni Shidi Rotulito Dashana Ahi Darale Darala Dei Chiro Dino Apito Jivana Chiro Dino Apito Jivana manjari padam Shemora Shambhadam Shemora Bhajana Pujana Shemora Bhajana Pujana.
The lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari are my treasure, my devotional service and my object of worship. They are what gives my life meaning, and they are the life of my life. They are the perfection of the rasa dance, and they are the perfection worthy of attainment. They are the very law of Vedic scriptures for me, and they are the meaning of all my fastings and penances, and my silent utterings of my mantras. They are the basis of religious activities. And by the purifying process of favorable devotional service, one will attain perfection, and with these two eyes be able to see his transcendental form that is shining like moonlight into my heart. And my heart also shines back due to this and reciprocates his shining. The ordinary moon lights up the nighttime, and its shining illuminates objects. But the moon of the effulgence of the form of Sri Rupa Manjari shines into the heart, and makes the heart also shine back to the spiritual sky. And this moon shines not only in the nighttime, but day and night it shines. When you are out of my vision, it is like a dose of strong poison, and I will suffer till the end of my life. Narottam Das Thakur prays, please give me your mercy in the shade of your lotus feet. This is a perfect attitude towards spiritual master. Now let's chant together, Govinda Jai Jai.
Sura Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anukula Sura Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anukula Bhakta Shiva Parama Shiri Vimalati Koramula Bhakta Shiva Parama Shiri Vimalati Koramula Madhavati Bhakti Janani Yatande Pallamna Pori Madhavati Bhakti Janani Yatande Pallamna Pori Krishna Bosati Bosati Bori Parama Adare Bori Krishna Bosati Bosati Bori Parama Adare Bori Gaura Amara Deshavastani Karala Brahmanarami Gaura Amara Deshavastani Karala Brahmanarami Shesharastana Heri Goami Tamayi Bhakata Sange Shesharastana Heri Goami Tamayi Bhakata Sange Ganga Bhadya Sunite Mana Avasara Sadhanase Munidanga Bhadya Sunite Mana Avasara Sadhanase Gaura Vihita Kirtana Suni Anande Hridaya Nache Gaura Vihita Kirtana Suni Anande Hridaya Nache Dukala Murti Dekhiya Bora Parama Ananda Hoya Dukala Murti Dekhiya Bora Parama Ananda Hoya Rashada Shiva Gaurite Haya Sakala Prapancha Jaya Abhara Shiva Gaurite Haya Sakala Prapancha Jaya Chidina Grihe Bhajana Deki Kriyate Goloka Paya Chidina Grihe Bhajana Deki Kriyate Goloka Paya Chidina Grihe Devina Ganga Sukhanashima paya Charana Sidhu Dekiya Ganga Sukhanashima paya Tosi Deki Juraya Prana Madhava Toshani Jani Tosi Deki Juraya Prana Madhava Toshani Jani Gaura Priya Shaka Shivani Jivana Shata Kamani Gaura Priya Shaka Shivani Jivana Shata Kamani Bhakti Vinod Krishna Bhajani Avashara Shaka Paya Bhakti Vinod Krishna Bhajani Anukula Paya Nati Vivashi Paramashuti Sikara Dharaiva Nati Vivashi Paramashuti Sikara Pranayapa Sudha Bhakata Charanari Bhajana Sudha Bhakata Charanari Bhajana. Enthusiastic devotional service and service to the pure devotees of the highest order is the root of the creeper of devotion. The holy days like Ekadasi and Janmashtami are the mother of devotion for those devotees who respect them. Let the holy places of Krishna's pastimes be my place of worship and bless me. May I know always the holy places associated with the Leela of Lord Chaitanya along with his devotees. When I hear the sound of the Mridanga in my heart, I always desire to join in kirtan. And when I hear the bona fide songs describing Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, my heart dances in ecstasy. Whenever I see the transcendental Shiv Vigrahas of Shri Radha and Krishna, I'm in bliss, and by taking their lordship's prasadam, we can conquer over the elements. One day, while performing devotional practices, I saw my whole house transformed into Goloka Vrindavan. When I take the Chanamrita of the deity, I see the holy Ganga water coming from the feet of Lord Vishnu, and my bliss knows no bounds. By seeing the Tulsi tree, my heart feels joy, and Lord Madhava Krishna is also satisfied. When I eat the prasadam favored by Lord Chaitanya, it is a new life's experience. Lord Chaitanya was very fond of a green vegetable preparation called shak, and there is another song in this book that tells of the wonderful effects of this type of prasadam. Bhaktivinoda concludes by saying, whosoever attains the stage of enthusiasm for these devotional practices will be supremely blissful wherever he may go. Yes. He saw his whole house transformed into Goloka Vrindavan. So we're living in that same atmosphere. You have to develop the eyes to see them. We're living in Vrindavan. So charged with devotional service. Arti. Actually, the most nectarine experience was sailing down the Ganga. That is, I have to do that every year. So beautiful. Yeah, Prabhupada advised me in Los Angeles to go to India and distribute prasadam in the villages. So we talked about different modes of transportation. Prabhupada suggested a bullock cart. So we can get 5 or 6 bullock carts and travel down to the villages to Mayapur. He said in 24 hours you can go 25 miles. I said, but after all, what's the hurry? So I decided on boat because that looked very, very attractive to me. And I asked Prabhupada and he said that was a very good idea. So we got a big sailboat. Very, very big sailboat. And we had a 50-foot sail that said Hare Krishna, Hare Ram in 3 languages. Big red letters. And 8 brahmacaris along with Tirthankara Maharaj came with me. And we left from right near Allahabad, where Lord Chaitanya met Rupa Goswami, the confluence of the Ganga, the Saraswati, and the Jamuna. Very beautiful. The Jamuna is emerald green, and the Ganga is silver, and the Saraswati is black. So when they all mix together, it's just beautiful. We went out there and bathed in that spot. There was a Kumbh Mela going on at that time. There were millions of yogis there. I saw all the bogus yogis standing on their head, watching the coins being flicked to them. It was really funny. They'd be upside down. They'd open their eyes every time a coin would come. You know, they were calculating. We thought it was very funny. At that time, I was just with one brahmachari. His name is Haridas. He's an Indian brahmachari. He looks like Prabhupada. He's really a nice boy. Prabhupada treats him like a son. Prabhupada is very kind to him. Anyway, he came with me. He did all the translating while I arranged everything. And we borrowed Madungas from the Gaudiya Math that Prabhupada started in Allahabad. Remember, he had been away from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Prabhupada for 5 years. And the Gaudiya Math members came to Allahabad to open the center. And Prabhupada helped them at Gaudiya Math. So I saw Prabhupada's books there, and magazine. And I met the Gaudiya Math leaders there and borrowed their Madungas and kartals and went out and sang kirtan at the Kumbh Mela. It was very nice. We chanted up and down all the yogis' tents and everything. That was blissful. There were also a tremendous amount of leprosy there. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Over 30,000 lepers live there in Allahabad. And they all line up along the banks of the rivers. And their bodies are literally turning into pus and blood and just bleeding out on the ground. Just amazing to see it, you know. It really teaches you to become indifferent to pain and pleasure, happiness and distress. Prabhupada explained to me that these persons were actually souls that were destined to suffer on the hellish planets. But just to remind us of the result of bad karma, they took birth here on earth just to show us what is the result of bad karma. It's to remind human beings. Even though there's a cure for leprosy, they won't take it. It's their karma, they accept it. That they must be leprous. And it's their only livelihood as well. It's the only way they could make a living. It's just amazing. There's a gradual sodium type cure they have to put all over their wounds, and they have to stop smoking beedies, which they won't do. And so many other things. You know, they'd rather die than stop smoking beedies.
What's that?
It's like a drug. Cigarette, a drug mixed together.
Like marijuana?
Yeah. And anyway, we left the towns, because the towns in India would really depress me. It's filled with cheating propensity. So we went to a boat builder's village called Patna. And at Patna is where I bought the boat. You get a gigantic sailboat for $200-300 in India. Gigantic one. And boatmen for 50 cents a day. So I got 4 boatmen who were all devotees. I requested that they couldn't smoke any beedies or do any nonsense. And they were nice. They had madungas and joined us in kirtan the whole way. And we set up a pandal in the village there. And it was just amazing. Every night we distributed prasadam to over 500 people. Huge, I bought huge pots. We dig holes in the ground and cook prasadam and serve it to everyone. Actually, they got so excited over prasadam that they jumped into the pots. They dove in, became covered with prasadam, and lifted off their bodies. And for 5 days we spent there while we provisioned the boat, got it all ready to go. And then 8 of us left. We divided into 2 groups. Half of us chanted on the top deck of the boat, while the other half read and had classes on the bottom. We had a constant marathon on the Ganga. Our idea was to please Mother Ganga. That was one of our main ideas, that Lord Chaitanya danced and chanted all the way to Vrindavan along her banks. So it's been 500 years since anyone's done that. So we decided to try to please her in that way. And we really felt her pleasure. In fact, every time we'd start chanting, huge porpoises would dive out of the water on the boat. They're very nice. They're mammals, and they are always traveling around the boat, porpoises. So we left, had a wonderful send-off by the villagers of Patna, and then we started sailing down, and every evening we visited a village, and every afternoon we visited a village. In the evening we had a big program. In the evening we took out large 10-foot paintings of Lord Chaitanya's Leela, and we described the whole pastimes of Lord Chaitanya to the villagers. Many of them remembered their forefathers telling them how Lord Chaitanya had come to and converted their forefathers to Vaishnavas. It was very nice. The reception in the villages is completely opposite than the cities. In the villages, immediately all the children come and join you in chanting. Immediately. And as you march through the town with the children chanting, every family comes out of its house, falls down flat, pays dandavats, washes the ground in front of you where you're going, and lights incense all along the path. Just an amazing reception they give you. And when you're about to leave, they push their children forward and ask you to take them. They're very, very pious. They know how to honor devotees. And they don't consider that you're white or this or that. You know, they see that you're devotees and they respect that. They gave us all facility. They would carry in the pots to the village and everything. They washed them. Just wonderful reception. We sang songs all evening with them, chanted. In the morning we'd sail all morning long. During the heat of the day we'd put mustard oil all over our bodies, and we'd take a rope and jump off the back of the boat. And for an hour a day I would just float in the Ganga and be pulled by the boat, and I'd chant mantras. Very, very nice. there are very mystical things along the Ganga too. Beautiful mountainous temples that are built out of gigantic boulders that by some magical power were brought there. Because there's no boulders anywhere around the Ganga. Huge boulders as big as this room, bigger than this room, piled up one on another on another. And then most devotees in northern India are devotees of Ram, and Hanuman especially. And this one town, Mongir, has a giant mountainous temple in the middle of the Ganga, which is 3 miles wide there, a gigantic river. The Ganga has a silver effulgence on it that is just enchanting. It just glows, the whole river. It really is Chanamrita, just like it described. You're living in Chanamrita, sailing in Chanamrita, cooking in Chanamrita, bathing in Chanamrita. You really fall in love with the Ganga. Ganga is just so adorable personality. Then we saw the temples of Hanuman with huge red boulders carved in the shape of Hanuman with baboons running all over them. There's some cities that they've never heard of monkey or baboon because they think of them as descendants of Hanuman. The whole city is run by baboons. It's amazing. And we visited many temples of Sita Ram. We're very pious men who worship the Lord in that form. Very, very pious men. And gave us all facility to do our program at the temple of Sita Ram. We got further and further into central India. We went towards Bangladesh. On Lord Nityananda's appearance day, we went to a Mohammedan village, which was kind of frightening at first because they don't like chanting and they'll never take prasadam from it, consider it offered to idols. But the boy that I was with, Haridas, is very clever. He's like our American brahmacaris, good salesman. So he put his arms around him and told him, he spoke in the Mohammedan language, he knows 11 languages. And he told him, actually we're all Mohammedans, but we're simply chanting Hare Krishna for the benefit of the Hindus along the way, because they don't know any other name of God. So they love that. We were disguised Mohammedans, we thought that was great. And they all chanted with us and took prasadam. That was especially Lord Nityananda's mercy that day as well. And we sailed further into Bangladesh. One side of the river is Bangladesh or Pakistan, the other side of the river is India. We go back and forth. And the river is completely peaceful. There's no other sound. Whenever we would chant, people way on the other side of the shore would chant back to us. Everyone worships the Ganga. That's the deity for people who live along the Ganga. Every morning before sunrise, they're all there bathing, chanting mantras to the Ganga and offering prayers. It's a very, very beautiful sound. The fishermen that live on the river are also very beautiful. It's amazing. They're all devotees, but by their caste, they're put in the position of fishermen. They have no other livelihood. And they sing songs at night while they fish. They have a lantern going. And they sing songs about how their plight is. And they ask the Lord to forgive them if they've been forced to be fishermen for a trade. And to please accept their prayers. And they never take more than is required. I found they're very, very nice men. And their songs are so melodious and haunting at night to hear. Just beautiful to sleep on a boat on the Ganga. Very nice. Many events happen. Every night was a new story. Every night was wonderful. He kept jumping in the pot every night. It's astounding. The same reaction everywhere. Jump in the pot. That's all he wanted to do. We cooked a wonderful prasadam made out of puff rice and gore. Gore is like a unrefined sugar. When you add it with puff rice, it makes a wonderful sticky, like candy, corn candy. And they would eat that just like peaches and cream, They're very poor in the villages. They just have what's required. Simple things. There's no electricity and no roads. So it's just like it was 5,000 years ago. All the little boys have black eye mascara on, lotus eyes, And they sleep on their cows while they're grazing in the field. It's beautiful. You see a little boy just sleeping on the back of the cow while it walks around and grazes. They swim across the river on their cows. The cows can swim wonderfully. And they swim right across the river with the boys on their backs singing songs. It just reminds you of Krishna. The women there are all very, very chaste, unbelievably chaste. Tremendous atmosphere for brahmacari to go preaching in the villages. Then we stopped at the Farakka Barrage, which is like a big dam in Bangladesh, and where the Ganga turns into the Hooghly to go down towards Lord Chaitanya's birth site, Mayapur Dham. There wasn't sufficient water in the Hooghly, so we had to take all the stuff off the boat, put it on a train or a truck, and take it to Mayapur. There I got a boat the very next day because I was so attached to this program. And we loaded it all on another boat, and we went up the Saraswati, a black river.
The reception around Lord Chaitanya's birthplace was just magnificent. Everyone just was offering obeisances constantly and chanting with us. They wouldn't let us go. They'd come right down to the boat late at night and chant, dance. They're all devotees there. Very nice. We drank the wonderful water of the Saraswati. I worshipped the Saraswati for about 10 days. Then the Mayapur festival began. And then I went to Bombay with Prabhupada for a Sankirtan program for about 2 weeks. And I came back to the United States. Prabhupada asked me to come back every year, get on the boat again. I'm anxious to do it. This year I want to bring Radha Damodar, take them on the boat. Villagers will love them.